with the hiking. We're back with the hiking. But what's good, YouTube, man? It's your boy, man, Jay Willie Silly, man, aka Mr. Take It Easy for you ends up like VZ, man. A lot of y'all want to know who's VZ, man. Just know he's VZ. You know what I mean? Make sure y'all follow my Twitch, man. Subscribe to my second channel. Everything you need to know about your boy Jay is in the description down below. We will not be going live on Twitch, but tomorrow we will be back black alive. You know what I'm saying? We will be back live on Twitch tomorrow night. You know, 7th hour. You know what I mean? I appreciate y'all for the 7,000 followers, bro. You know, I know a lot of y'all probably new to Twitch. You know, you enjoy Twitch, right? You know what I mean? Just like YouTube, you fizz me. Just like YouTube. It's just a live streaming app. You'll be all right, right? People get shot every day, B. You know what I mean? But you'll be all right, though. You know what I'm saying? You good. You grown. You know, if you're not grown, you know, you finna get grown. You know what I mean? But nah, though, man. Twitch is cool, man. You feel me? I started to like Twitch better than YouTube. I ain't gonna lie. That's on my be easy. But, yeah, man, you know, I appreciate the love y'all showing on Twitch, man. That just shows me how much y'all really mess with the kid. You know what I'm saying? I do not take the support lightly. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, I remember times, man, when I ain't have none. So 7,000 on Twitch, that's a major accomplishment. I appreciate the love and support. Make sure y'all go subscribe to my second channel. I know I have not been uploading on my second channel, bro, but I've been so, like, in tune with the reactions. You know, we're going to get back into gaming, you know what I'm saying? But it's just more good. GTA getting pushed back, bro, you know what I'm saying? That kind of messed me up. Cause I'm like, you know, I'm finna be on, but you know, I'm hopping into story mode games. I don't want to play sports games. So when we upload on the second channel again, it will be story mode gameplay. I'm not gonna lie to you. The online gameplay, I'm good, bro. I'm good with it. You know what I'm saying? But we got 3 true scary hiking stories. Mr. Nightmare. We probably do another scary video after this, but for all my new subscribers and new viewers, I do have playlist sections up for y'all, bro. I am a very organized person, like I always say. You know what I mean? So I don't want y'all scrambling and rambling to find different videos because I got over 2,000 some videos, bro. So that's going to take a long time for surely holy. So I got it all with you. I got it all set it up for you. You know what I mean? True story reactions, you know, scary reactions, whatever you want to see, cartel reactions, whatever you want to see. It's in the playlist section over yonder, man. I think I'm going to hit you with a thumbnail time. Thumbnail time. Also, there's a thumbnail time. Okay, chicken and drums. You play. Dun, da, da, da. You feel me? I thought I was finna miss out on my thumbnail time. This is not even what we doing.
About 6 years now. I'm comfortable enough in the wilderness that I...
See, it's just nothing exciting about this. Like, bro, let me go and put my phone on the charge. AirPod charging right now. But I just don't understand the excitement when it comes to hiking. Like, it's like, look at this. Does it not, like, bro, does it not look spooky? Like, I'm like, bro, I go out into the wilderness, bro. I'm just all like, it's just not my playing field. You feel me?
Don't need to stick to main trails anymore, which is probably what got me into this situation in the first place.
Stupid man.
This happened last October in the Monongahela National Forest in West Virginia. I'd driven up from Virginia for a long weekend, planning to hit some of the more remote sections that didn't see much traffic. The weather was perfect, mid-50s if I had to guess.
Mid-50s.
But not rainy. I was looking forward to some real solitude. I was maybe 4 hours into the hike when I reached what I can only describe as a gorge. It wasn't some massive canyon or anything, but it was deep enough, probably 30 or 40 feet down to a rocky bottom with a small creek running through it. Not a guaranteed death if you fell, but you'd definitely break something, and the walls looked impossible to climb with all that loose shale and overhang. There was this massive fallen oak wedged between both sides at a slight angle. It was pretty thick. The bark was worn smooth from weather and probably other hikers using it as a bridge. I inspected it for a few minutes to make sure it was sturdy, then decided it looked solid enough for me. I took my time getting across, trying to maintain focus. I safely reached the other side, and by the time I was back on solid ground, I realized I'd gotten a really nice adrenaline rush from the balancing act. But then I heard this rhythmic thunking sound behind me. I turned around, and there was a guy on the other side of the gorge. maybe 10 feet from where the tree met the bank. He was older, definitely in his 50s, wearing this ratty camo jacket and old-looking jeans. He also had a scraggly beard that made him kind of look like your stereotypical lumberjack. It took me a second to realize what he was holding. It was an axe, a full-size axe. Maybe he really was a lumberjack, but I couldn't think. I was still in shock at the sight of it. He walked right over to the base of the tree and started swinging his axe at it. I shouted across at him, asking what the hell he was doing. He didn't even look up, he just kept swinging. To my horror.
Oh my God, see, that's best for you to mind your dang business. Like, even like in crazy situations, humans still tend to not mind their dang business. Like, what that man doing ain't got nothing to do with you, shouted. I'm gonna keep it real with you. And then when you yell, hey, what you doing over there? He didn't even look up. You ain't startling him. He ain't, hey, just cutting some trees. He ain't speak to, hey, what you doing over there? Man kept on. So that right there tell me bro crazy. Because bro ain't respond to me. He ain't get startled or nothing. He continued cutting that tree like you wasn't even there. It's like, mind your dang business. It don't matter what he doing. It ain't nothing to do with you. It ain't nothing pertaining to you. That's what's wrong with a lot of y'all people these days. You don't mind your dang business. That's why you end up dead. That's why you end up getting kidnapped. That's why other bad things start happening. Bro, it's better you mind your business. You can't save everyone. Stop trying to save everyone. Stop trying to be Superman, bro. You're going to end up dead in this world. You're going to end up getting kidnapped. Something bad is going to happen to you. The best thing for you to do in today's world is mind your dang business, man. Best thing for you to do. I mind my dang business. I don't care what you're doing over there. Just don't come over here with that. You feel what I'm saying?
I watched as one of his swings landed a little deeper than the others. The tree shifted slightly. I yelled louder, telling him to stop, and that
Bro, watch out, bro. I mean, bro cutting trees down, gang. Like, he cutting trees, bro. I ain't gonna lie, you starting to annoy me. You one of them annoying. You one of them Karens, bro. I don't see nothing wrong with bro doing. I ain't gonna lie, you kind of the weird one. In my opinion, you watching bro cut down a tree. Stop. Like, bro, what the freak is you? You supposed to be the nature police? Hey, what's going on with Shouty? You know what I'm saying? I don't see nothing wrong with what he doing. He in the wilderness cutting down trees. Here you go. Stop. So look, go on a hike or something. You know what I'm saying? You starting to annoy me, gang.
The tree shifted slightly. I yelled louder, telling him to stop, and that I'd just crossed the gorge on that thing. It dawned on me that this guy probably already knew that, and he was trying to strand me on the other side.
Oh, shoot. So hold on. The gorge. Hold on. What?
I yelled louder, telling him to stop, and that I'd just crossed the gorge on that thing. It dawned on me.
Oh, the gorge where so you won't get lost. Oh, okay. I think he just crossed. I was okay. So it's basically so you won't get lost. Like, it's basically markers, so she won't get lost. So she or he won't get lost in the forest while she or he is hiking. All right, bro. Okay, so basically he's trying to cut down a tree where you marked that, so you won't. Oh, okay, cool. I was like, what the freak? I'm like, bro, you tweaking about a tree getting cut down. I see now. Okay, my fault. That's my fault. My beezy.
Probably already knew that.
My beezy.
He was trying to strand me on the other side.
Yeah.
He didn't show any signs of stopping, so I yelled increasingly insulting things at him. Stuff that didn't even make sense. I finally yelled that I'd need to cross back to the other side, and that's when he finally looked up at me and said, "That's not my problem." He said it so casually, like I'd asked him about the weather. I don't know why, but his casual tone infuriated me, and I admit I kind of lost it a little. I started full-on screaming at him. I said some nasty things, and in hindsight, that probably wasn't the brightest decision. I can't remember exactly what, but something I must have said hit a nerve because he stopped swinging the axe abruptly. He actually set it down on the ground before taking a few steps closer to the edge. I could see his face more clearly after that, and it was not a pleasant sight. His eyes were sunken and dark almost, like the skin around them was dark too, if that makes any sense. He leaned over the edge and told me something that I'll never forget. "I know these woods a lot better than you do." Something about the way he said it scared me. Not threatening exactly, but certain, like he was stating a fact I'd be stupid to argue with. We stared at each other for what felt like forever. Then he picked up the axe, turned around, and walked back into the trees. I didn't say anything after him. What was there to say? I stood there trying to process what had happened. The tree was still wedged in place, but I could tell it wasn't stable anymore. The edge on his side was splintered and cracked. I wanted to cross back to the other side right then and there, but there was no way I was entrusting my weight to that tree now. I pulled out my phone, but it had zero service. I decided to cut the hike short. I was mad for sure, but I was also genuinely spooked. I think anyone else in my position would have been too. Something about that encounter felt wrong in a way I couldn't articulate. I started walking downstream, figuring I'd find another crossing and it would take me back in the direction I'd come from anyway. But I was dead wrong. I walked for what must have been an hour, and the gorge only got deeper. I was pretty sure the gap was widening too. I kept thinking I'd find a spot where I could cross, but every turn...
I'm saying, bro, that's why y'all be the, you know, like, I'm telling you, the ones that be the most dangerous be the ones that don't say too much. Be the ones that's calm, cool, and collected. The ones that be getting loud, I'm telling you, they be the scary ones. I'm trying to tell y'all, bro. Bro said in a calm voice, I know these woods better than you do. Bro ain't holler or nothing. I know these woods better than you do. You know what I'm saying? Those be the ones you got to watch out for. Them calm ones, them quiet ones. Those be the ones. Don't try to act like you quiet now. I swear, when you start saying that calm and quiet, yeah, I know what you talking about, Jay. I'm calm and quiet. No, you're not, bro. Not calm and quiet. You be talking up the storm. You're the center of attention. You know what I mean? Once you start saying that, folks be starting to think that, yeah, he talking about me. No, I'm not. For you to even say that, shows me that you already want to be a center of attention. He talking about me. You calm and quiet, bro. You ain't gotta feel that way. It's like, yeah, you know what you are. You ain't gotta say, yeah, he talking about me. I know how you feel, Jay. Everybody want to be calm and quiet now. Everybody want to be mysterious. Come on, bro. You talk a lot. Go ahead and talk a lot, gang. You know what I'm saying? You ain't mysterious. You fake mysterious, boy. You ain't mysterious. You feel me? Them fake old mysterious. You see who really quiet and who really ain't. You know what I'm saying? Couple minutes. He try to be quiet. He can't hold himself in no more. Start talking out the blue. I'm like, dang, bro, you just quiet. Bro, we're quiet. A few minutes later, bro, and everybody's face started talking. He trying to act mysterious. Trying to act quiet. A real quiet and mysterious motherfucker ain't really gonna talk. You ain't gonna see him in the center of attention. You ain't gonna really see bro clicking up and talking to people. You feel me? But yo, those be the ones you gotta watch out for, man. Them loud ones, they be scared, bro. They be hoping you don't mess with them. They be trying to scare you, bro. You know what I'm saying? I'm telling you, the loudest ones, man. That is a true quote. Them loudest ones, bro, be the weakest ones, bro. They so scared. They just be trying to get, they be trying to scare you. You know what I mean? Cause they're scared. You feel me? They be trying to scare you. They be trying to, okay, if I talk like this, if I get loud with him, you know what I'm saying? If I get loud with her, you feel me? Then that probably will scare them away. Cause I'm really scared for real. Now I don't want to fight for her. I don't want to, you know what I'm saying? But I gotta, you know, I don't want to look goofy to them. I want to look goofy to the people.
Just revealed more impossible terrain. To make matters worse, the sun was starting to drop. I was beginning to panic.
Oh, shoot.
It was getting dark, and I was miles from my car in the opposite direction I needed to go.
That boy finna...
I started seriously considering whether I'd have to climb down into the gorge and back out.
That boy finna chop some wood!
Just then, I stumbled on what looked like a campsite. It was sitting in this little clearing with a fire pit that looked recently used. At first, I was relieved that maybe there was a fellow camper or hiker that could help me, but the more I looked around, the more wrong it felt. I realized that there were these carvings on the surrounding trees, not like initials or anything recognizable, just these deep gouges and symbols. There were also a bunch of weird objects scattered around, like rusted tools and pieces of cloth tied to branches, what looked like animal bones arranged in patterns. It was freaky. As soon as I saw that stuff, I basically hightailed it out of there. I was about twice as scared as I had been 2 minutes ago, which was saying something. And then, as if it couldn't get any worse, I started hearing sounds behind me, stalking me. Footsteps or something like footsteps. Every time I spun around though, everything went silent. I started thinking some kind of predator was trailing me. I picked up my pace, hoping whatever was behind me would lose interest. But no, if anything, the sounds only got louder and honestly a little closer. What happened next is still the most terrifying thing I've ever experienced. As soon as I heard the next sound, I looked over my shoulder for like the 20th time and caught a glimpse of someone ducking behind a tree. A person. I froze and scanned the trees, and I realized there wasn't just one. There was another figure further to the left. They'd fanned out. I was being herded. I don't know what made me realize they'd given up on hiding, but suddenly I could hear them moving more openly. I saw what looked like a pipe or a club in one of their hands, and that was it. I just started running, knowing I couldn't play dumb for much longer. And the exact thing I was dreading happened. They started chasing after me, clearly not concerned with being stealthy anymore. I can't explain how scary it was. I didn't even know what they wanted. I was in the middle of the woods, lost, and the sun had almost set. I felt like I was in a life or death situation, which is probably how I was able to run so fast for so long. I ran faster than I knew I could, and definitely faster than I'd ever run before. One of the people behind me started screaming. Not words, just screams, like war cry type screams. The stuff of nightmares, and I mean that. I kept running. The gorge was still on my left, and just when I felt myself slowing down out of exhaustion, I saw another fallen tree. It was much smaller than the first one had been, but I didn't have a choice. Without thinking, I mounted it and started making my way across. I didn't even have time to see if it was sturdy. Thinking about it now, I was betting my entire life on a tree. It was so tense and I was so tired that I honestly thought I was going to slip and fall. It held up and I made it across. As soon as I made it, I turned around. There were actually 3 figures following me, and they all looked like carbon copies of that first guy who had stranded me. They were filthy, and one of them was in fact holding a pipe. I watched as the first one put his hand on the tree like he was going to cross, then he stepped back down. The 3 of them looked at me menacingly, and for some reason, I found myself unable to move again. Then one of them told me to get the f*** out of there, and that I had gotten lucky, and that was all I needed to hear. I turned and did exactly what they told me to. I kept expecting to hear them behind me, but the forest had gone eerily quiet. The darkness didn't help either, and there were a couple times when I had to fight a full-on breakdown. I must have run at an angle that eventually brought me back toward the trailhead, or maybe I just got impossibly lucky, but I did eventually find it. I reported what I could after driving back home, but I knew there was nothing anyone could or would do. It's been months now. I still hike, but it's honestly not as enjoyable anymore. I really hope I start enjoying it again, because hiking used to be my absolute favorite thing to do, and now I can't even enjoy it without thinking about that experience. It was just so freaky. That first guy with the axe especially. The way he looked at me when he said those things, as if he knew exactly what was going to happen to me. He probably did. Hell, he had probably orchestrated it all. It terrifies me to think that I might have lost my life that day in the woods.
Stay out of those woods, kids. Stay out of them woods, man. That's all I gotta say. Stay out of them woods. All I gotta say, man.
This happened 3 years ago. I know a lot of people drag things out, but I don't see the need to do that, so I'm just gonna say exactly what happened as it happened. I was hiking.
For me, I don't understand why people, do not have like guns. I told you that's the number one thing that I'm going to invest in. You know what I'm saying? Like when I get a lot of money, is guns. I don't know, things for survival. You know what I'm saying? Because the way this world is, you never know what's going to happen, bro. Just invest in a lot of weapons. A lot of weapons, a lot of canned foods, things of that. A lot of water, a lot of gas tank, like gas things, like, I don't know, just preparing for the worst. You know what I'm saying? Honestly, you feel me? Getting prepared so I won't have to get prepared. You feel what I'm saying? So that's just me personally. I already got my number one gun right here, the 40, my beautiful baby right here. One thing I don't like doing, I don't like showing my gun, you feel me? Like there's no point. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, this freaking 40 right. This is my best friend right here, man. Smith and Weston, man. You know what I'm saying? Beautiful, and I just love it, man. Hollows, man. So for me, I'm not gonna lie, I'm not running. You know, I'm gonna leave you dead where you stand. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna leave you dead where you stand, man. I'm gonna keep it real with you. You feel me? Dead where you freaking stand. And you know, all the little pipes you holding, that's not gonna matter to me. I got a lot of shots, bro. So it's not gonna matter to me, bro. You know, you're human. At the end of the day, you're not gonna be found. You know, so I'm not just killing you for no reason. So, and I got a flashlight. Nah, I ain't gonna lie, my flashlight kind of dead though. I ain't gonna get it charger though. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man. It's just important to have a gun, man. It's important to have a gun. Sorry. You know, just for situations. You know, you don't have to do anything to anybody to get hurt in this world. That's just what it is, and that's just how it is. You know what I'm saying? So he didn't do anything to anybody. He just wanted to hike. But you see, he ran across bad people, and bad people just want to do bad things to people for no reason. You know?
Through a remote section of forest in northern Minnesota, way off any marked.
I feel like that's a mandatory thing, bro. You know, like to have. You know, when it comes to people. You know, I just don't see how people are genuinely like, I don't see how people are genuinely, like I said, for me, I can fight. I box, bro. I'm a trained fighter, you know what I'm saying? But sometimes that can only get you so far. You know, sometimes you're going to be in situations, sometimes you probably be in situations where, okay, you can't just fight. You got to have a gun, you know, life or death situation. You know what I mean? Like in this situation right here where my man's running through the woods. You know, yeah, I'm a boxer. Yeah, you know, I can fight. You know, I beat one of them, but it's three of them. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, it's like, you know, that's a life and death situation. And they can leave me in the woods. So it's like, shoot, bang, bang. You know what I mean? Shoot, bang, 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 bang. You feel me? So it's like, you know, for me, I don't even fight when it's more than one. You know, I don't care if it's two. I'm going to shoot you. Like, I will shoot you. You know what I mean? I say that all the time, and I be dead serious, bro. Like, I'm the wrong person to jump, bro. The last people that try to jump in too well for them. Know what I mean? I ain't shoot nobody, but best believe gun got upped. You know what I mean? That's word to gang. You feel me? So it's just for me, bro, all that jumping and stuff. If it ain't a 1v1, I'm going up for surely only. If you run up on me, I will pop you.
Preferred it that way. The actual wilderness, not the sanitized version.
All that little jumping junk, the junk
with their
junk dead.
Markers and worn paths. Just me and the woods, the way they're supposed to be. I'd been out there for maybe 4 hours when I noticed I'd lost my bearings. It happens sometimes when you're not following a trail, but usually I can orient myself pretty quickly. This time was different. Nothing looked familiar. The sun was still high enough that I wasn't in immediate danger, but that sick feeling of being lost was already settling into my stomach. I tried to stay calm and kept walking, telling myself I'd spot something recognizable soon. But instead, I started picking up on this rustling sound behind me, the last thing you'd want to hear if you're in my position. The rustling wasn't constant, just every 30 seconds or so, like something was matching my pace. I'd stop, and it would stop too. I'd start walking, and there it was again. I kept telling myself it was probably a deer, but I'd hiked enough times to know that deer don't follow people like that. I kept going, but at that point, I was pretty sure I was being stalked by something. And then, all at once, the rustling turned into movement all around me. It was a worst-case scenario. By the time I realized what was happening, it was too late. I was surrounded on all sides by a pack of wolves. 6 or 7 of them, if I had to guess. Some of them were snarling at me, and some of them were just staring. But it was clear to me that, to them, I was a meal. I wasn't going to go down without a fight, though.
Okay.
I had my knife out, even though I knew the odds were stacked against me. I remember thinking, this is it. This is actually how I'm going to die. Alone in the woods because I was too stubborn to stick to the marked trails. I was trying to decide if I should make myself big or stay still or what, when every single wolf suddenly went rigid. All at once, too. Not like they were reacting to each other, but rather all reacting to something else. Their ears shot up, and they all looked in the same direction, somewhere over my shoulder. And then they just scattered. Scattered as in full-on sprint in the opposite direction from where they'd been looking, almost like they were the ones being hunted. That's when the fear started setting in for real. Until that point, it had just been a wicked adrenaline rush, which makes sense given the life and death scenario I thought I was in. But once I was alone again, I started getting the creeps. The first thing I noticed after the wolves scampered away was that the woods were completely silent. No wind, no birds, no critters, nothing. It was like someone had flipped a switch in there. It was still light out, but things felt a little dimmer, sort of how your vision fades when you're lightheaded or right before you're about to pass out. But the worst part by far was why the wolves had run off in the first place. I mean, they had been scared of something, that much was obvious, but whatever could have scared off an entire pack of wolves from a long distance away, I couldn't imagine. I needed to keep moving, but I felt really unsettled, even in the daylight. I kind of wanted to follow the wolves, but I was pretty
Want to follow the wolves, the same wolves that was trying to eat you, bro? Bro talking about, bro, look, I don't care what scared off them wolves. It didn't scare off me. So you know what? Y'all know what I resort to. I resort to G-O-D, God. And I don't care if you don't believe in him. I believe him. You know what I'm saying? But I resort to G-O-D, God. You know what I mean? Shoot, they didn't believe in me, but God did. You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that happened. All right, man, God got my back. All right, cool. He got my back. You feel me? You know, he looked out for the kid. That's the only thing I'm gonna resort to. And guess what? You talking about you gonna walk with the wolves, man? Whatever's out here gonna have to kill me. Whatever scared them wolves gonna have to kill me. Talking about I'm finna go back to the wolves. The same wolves that was circling you, the same wolves that was finna turn you to a meal. Tell you, but some folks just don't use common sense, gang. Talking about I'm finna walk to the wolves. I think about running towards the wolves. Like, bro, like, do y'all be wanting to die? My folks be so stupid. You be so dumb sometimes.
Certain I had been walking in the right direction to begin with, so I was at a crossroads.
That was the dumbest thing I ever heard in my life.
Wolves just to potentially get encircled again and get even more lost.
Dumb.
Or continue in the right direction and possibly encounter whatever it was that had scared them off.
Hey, bro, just keep walking, bro.
An impossible choice. I ultimately decided to keep walking in the direction I thought would take me out of the woods.
Just keep walking, gang.
Which meant walking toward whatever it was that the wolves had been freaked out by. My logic was I could waste an hour walking the way the wolves had come from, only to turn around anyway and have to walk back in the dark, or just bite my tongue and walk that way while I still had daylight. So that's what I did. Maybe 20 minutes later, I saw what looked like a clearing up ahead. For a second, I thought it might have been a campsite. I could see what looked like a fire ring, but as I got closer, I realized it was wrong. All wrong. There were symbols carved into the trees surrounding the clearing, not initials or trail markers. These were intentional, deep cuts forming patterns I didn't recognize. It gets worse though. Things were hanging from the branches on what
Well, y'all folks, I told y'all, but y'all folks be coming across these cults, bro. I'm trying to tell you, bro. I don't understand why people hike in the first place. That's the dumbest thing. I don't care what you enjoy. That's stupid. That's on stupid. Hiking in the woods. Not no real thing. Like it was just stupid. When the hike where people hike in the open or something. You know what I'm saying? Hiking in the woods, bro. Now you deep down in the woods. Now you don't even know where the freak you at. Now you coming across a cult again, just like old boy did in the past story. You know what I'm saying? That's all that hiking in the woods, jump, bro. You don't know what's in them woods, bro. Hiking that serious? Just to get ate by a pack of wolves? Now you coming across a cult now? All because you want to hike? Is that serious?
Leather cords.
That's a hike.
Looked like bones. Small ones, maybe from birds or rodents. Others were metal, rusted, and twisted into shapes that hurt to look at. The fire pit in the center wasn't just a ring of stones. The stones were delicately stacked on top of one another, like structures. There was weird stuff in the fire pit, too. Pieces of cloth, what looked like jewelry, and other objects I couldn't really identify. But here's what made me really freak out. The smoke. There was this thick, black smoke that was just hanging in the air about 6 feet from the ground. It wasn't moving or dissipating, and it didn't look like it was coming from the fire pit either. It was just there. I really wish I could say it was just leftover smoke from the fire pit. The fire pit didn't even look like it had been used recently. I stood at the edge of that clearing. I was frozen to the spot. for some reason, I just couldn't look away from that smoke. My eyes kept tracking back to it, even when I tried focusing on something else. I really have trouble describing the feeling, but it felt like I was looking through a window at something instead of just being there. Like, it felt like I was standing in my kitchen window, looking out into the backyard instead of actually being in the backyard. I don't really know what that means, but that's what it felt like.
I don't know what the heck you mean,
There
guys.
was this feeling building in my chest, like grief and terror mixed together, but for some reason that hadn't happened yet. It was almost like my body was mourning something in advance. I've never felt anything like it before or since. I must have stood there for 5 minutes, just staring at that smoke, before something in my brain finally kicked back online. And no, the smoke didn't dissipate in that time. It just stayed there. I finally worked up the strength to turn around and run. I didn't walk or jog, I literally ran. I was overwhelmed with fear. I didn't know what I was running from, but there was this feeling in my gut that told me I needed to get out of the woods. My memory kind of gets foggy after that. I think it's because of how scared I was. So scared that my instincts took over, but part of me thinks the reason my memory faded was somehow connected to whatever the hell was in the woods. The smoke, or the thing that caused the smoke, or something else entirely. I don't know. The next thing I remember is it being dark out, meaning I must have been in those woods for another good hour or so. I was drenched in sweat and, strangely, freezing cold at that point, but I was nearly out of the woods. I was approaching my car. I got in and drove off without another thought, and that was that. I never reported what I found. What would I even say? I couldn't find that clearing again if I tried, and that's even if I remembered things clearly, which I didn't. This will forever be one of those experiences that just doesn't have an explanation. When I told my dad about what happened, he just said that everyone has that one experience sooner or later. Well, this is mine. And the thing that I still think about from time to time is not how those wolves behaved, how that campsite looked, or even that impossible smoke that just hung in the air. It's the memory loss. From all the research I've done, scary moments get remembered better, not worse. So I have no choice but to think that everything that happened that day was connected.
Man, well, I ain't never heard nothing like that, my boy. I'm gonna keep it a buck. That seemed like something that's very, very, you know what I'm saying? Very spiritual. That seemed like something that's out of our league, bro. You know, like I ain't never heard nothing like that. And I heard a lot of stories, man, but I ain't never heard like what were the wolves running from? You know, I don't know, man. I ain't never heard nothing like that, bro. I ain't gonna lie.
Back when I was younger,
Whole lot of weird ish that go on in this world. I'm telling y'all right now. Right now.
Once we got our licenses at 16, we were out almost every weekend camping in new spots. Our parents didn't really care as long as we were able to protect ourselves. For this reason, my dad let us borrow one of his guns. It was a Taurus G2C. This happened when we were 18 and seniors in high school. In February, me and my girl Megan, my friend Colin, and his girlfriend Anne were gonna drive to Arkansas and backpack the Ozarks to look at some natural waterfalls. It was a 9-hour drive from where we lived, so we left early and made it there around 7 p.m. We set up camp at one of the setup sites for the night since it was late and we were tired. My girl and I were sharing a tent, and Colin and his girl were sharing another. I had the gun in my tent. Nothing happened on the first night. The next morning, we woke up and made breakfast and drove to the start of the trail. We were gonna hike to a waterfall and then go find a place to set up camp. On the hike to the waterfall, Anne kept saying she saw someone standing still and staring at her, but he had been following and she hadn't seen him move. So we stopped to look, and we saw a man quickly run away. Colin yelled at him to fuck off or we'll kick his ass, mostly probably for show to impress his girl. We were capable of defending ourselves though if needed. We continued the hike and didn't see him.
Talking about for show to impress his girl. You a goofy. You know what I mean? Most likely for show to impress his girl. Hey, Colin, watch out for bro. Nobody trying to impress no girl, man. You know what I'm saying? Tell you what the freak it is. F off or we kick your butt. You know what I mean? But no, though. I mean, that's the number one thing, bro. You know what I'm saying? It's to protect my girl, bro. Ain't nobody trying to impress her, bro. You know what I'm saying? This is what it is. Feel me? Straight like that. Feel me? You need to be like Colin. Whatever your name is, you need to be like him. Talking about you trying to impress this girl, bro. You sound scary. You need to be like him. You know what I mean? Honestly, that's our job. Our job is to protect our women, bro. You know what I mean? So F off. I'll put some buckshots in you. That's why I would say F off. I'll put some buckshots in. We are armed. Fa. Probably will let something off in the air just to let that creep know, yeah, you will die. I mean, but it ain't trying to show off. It's just let you know, bro, I'm going to do it to you, gang. You know, our job is to protect our women, bro. That's point blank period. You know, when I get a girl and we step outside the door, my number one job is to get you home safe. I'm thinking about you. I ain't even thinking about me. That's how I operate. I am your personal security guard. You ain't got to worry about nothing when you with me. You feel me? Straight like that. So we in the woods, gang. You ain't got to worry about nothing.
Again.
Something gonna happen to me before something happened to you. Best believe that.
To the waterfall, and there we had lunch and took pictures. After about 2 hours, we decided to go find a place to camp before it got dark. While we were looking for a place to set up camp, I noticed a freakishly tall, skinny woman staring at us. She had to be at least 6'5".
Dang, 6'5"? Dang. Talking about you seen a man, then you seen a 6'5"? Ain't gonna cap that she ain't real. It's some creepy stuff going on that wood. She ain't real. I've never seen a 6'5" woman ever in my life. I don't even see 6'5" people regularly. When do we see 6'5" people just walking around? It's 6'1", 6'2". Probably see a 6'3" cat, but you ain't just seeing 6'5" people walking around, gang. Heck no. And a woman? A 6'5" woman? I ain't never seen a 6'5" woman. So that right there off the rip is creepy. What the heck is this 6'5" woman doing out here? I'll be spooked. The freak? What is this tall doing out here? Know what I mean? So that right off the rip right there, that's supernatural off the rip. Because we rarely see that 6'5" woman just staring at you, bro, in the middle of the woods, bro. That's creepy as freak, bro.
While we were looking for a place to set up camp, I noticed a freakishly tall, skinny woman staring at us. She had to be at least 6'5". It genuinely freaked me out. I pointed her out, and everyone else got unsettled too. We yelled at her to leave us alone and told her we had a gun. She turned around and walked away. We decided to hike further since we were all creeped out.
Why are we still staying in the woods, bro? Like, after 9 hours. Hike's done. Simple as that. We seen a man, now we seen a 6'5" woman. But you still trying to hike? How many warnings do you need, bucko? You got 2 warnings. Number 3, strike out. The freak, you still trying to hike? You still talking about hiking? Hike's done. Number 1, we see the man, I'm over with. Hey, bro, I'm cool. I'm finna head back. I don't care if you think I'm scary. I am scared. I'm scared and smart. You know what I'm saying? People think it's a bad thing about being scary. Okay, I'm scared. Cool. Being scary can save my life. Everybody want to be so tough nowadays. All right, you being tough. All right, so many tough people in the graveyard. And the thing is, a lot of y'all don't even be tough. You be acting tough. You know what I'm saying? Really be scared, but you trying to act like you tough. Trying to put on a show. Just like old boy said. You feel me? But bro, for me, I'm scared, gang. I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm scared. Heck yeah, I'm scared, bro. You know, and I got pipe on me, but that still don't mean I ain't scared. And I don't get scared. Heck yeah, I get scared. But when I get scared, I get super smart. That's the difference between me. When people get scared, people tend to get dumb, trying to act all super tough. Knowing you scared, but you trying to act stupid. Dummy. When I get scared, I get super smart. I'm already smart, like already brains on 1,000. You know what I mean? Just keeping it a bucksky with you. You feel me? But it's just like when I get scared, I get super duper smart. That's when I really start thinking. You feel me? So that right there off the rip, we see the man, bro. I'm dipping. You know, we wouldn't even get to see the woman. Ooh, I already be out the woods when I see a man.
We had no idea if the 2 weirdos were connected somehow.
Oh, they connected with the freak.
After another hour, we found a nice spot next to a small flowing creek with
continue
a
to walk.
deep pool of water.
Just continue to walk.
So we decided to get in the water and relax. While we were splashing around, we talked about the earlier incidents and joked that they were probably hillbillies on drugs. When the sun started to set, we decided to get out and make dinner. We brought chicken breast to grill, rice and vegetables to boil, and some potatoes. We always ate well on our campouts. While I was cooking, Colin set up his tent and helped me with mine. I finished cooking, and we ate before cracking open some of the alcohol we brought. I was, and still am, a pretty heavy smoker, so I'd brought some weed and papers to roll up. We wanted to have a good time since we put a lot of money into this trip. We told stories and laughed in our intoxicated state.
You telling me you forgot all about that? Tells me how freaking unaware y'all people are. Nobody's thinking about this man that y'all seen and this 6'5", freakishly tall woman y'all seen in the middle. Everybody just moved on. I'm sorry, bro. I'm the type of person, I don't forget about stuff like that. I'm sorry. I can't just move on and drink alcohol and, you know, even though I don't smoke or drink, but I'm just saying in their situation. I just can't move on and drink some booze, like the white folks say. I can't just move along and drink some booze. I can't just move along and just smoke some weed when I just seen a freakishly tall woman staring right at me in the middle of the woods. When I just seen a man staring at me in the middle of the woods, I can't just have a good time after that. I don't know. I'm operated different. I don't know. I guess I'm just different.
It got to a point.
You know, God made everybody different. You know what I mean?
And fell out of his chair and just laid on the ground laughing. We did this late into the night and eventually went to our tents. Megan and I were messing around in our tent when we suddenly heard someone laughing outside. At first, I thought it was Colin laughing at us for some reason, so I yelled, "What's so funny?" Colin yelled back, "That wasn't me." That sank my soul and immediately sobered me up. I grabbed the gun, rushed out of the tent, and fired a few shots into the air, yelling for whoever it was to leave us alone or I'd shoot them. That seemed to do the trick because I heard footsteps running away. We moved our tents closer together and decided to have one person stay up at a time as lookout. The next day, we debated going home early, but ultimately decided against it. We were sure we'd scared off whoever it was, so we planned to hike somewhere closer to the exit and camp for one final night.
Bro, some people you just gotta kill, bro. And some people still ain't gonna get the message, bro. Some people you just gotta kill, gang. This is what it is, bro.
After breakfast, we packed up camp and started the hike back. During the hike, we ran into some other hikers and told them what had happened. They were freaked out too. We chatted for a bit, then continued on. When we stopped for lunch, I realized those were the only other people we'd seen so far, despite there being a ton of cars in the parking lot earlier. After lunch, we continued down the trail, and after about 6 miles, we decided to set up camp. We were around 3 miles from the nearest exit. We pitched our tents and cooked steak and potatoes for dinner. We ate, drank, and smoked again before heading to the tents. In the middle of the night, I woke up needing to pee, so I stepped out of the tent. Out of paranoia, I made sure to bring the gun. While I was peeing, I heard leaves crunching nearby. My heart immediately stopped. I grabbed the gun, finished up, pulled up my pants, and turned on my headlamp. The beam revealed the man from the day before, standing in the distance, holding a machete. I could see him clearly this time. Long, dirty black hair, and super lanky. I screamed and raised the gun as he started charging at me. I fired off every shot I had and must have hit him somewhere, because I heard him yell and saw him fall. By now, Colin, Megan, and Ann were all awake. I told them to pack up. We needed to leave fast. I didn't want to involve the police since I wasn't sure if I could get charged for something. And honestly, his life didn't seem worth it. We didn't bother packing the tents since there wasn't time. We grabbed our bags.
That's my type of guy right there. See what I'm saying? Now imagine the bro ain't had that gun in that situation. Let off some shot. There you go, fire them off. His life ain't worth it. Freak is you talking about? This type of guy I'm talking about right there. Yeah, like that beam. Put that beam on him. I told you he human. You see how he human? Try to act scary, let them shots in him. Buffer. Ain't nothing walk in this world immortal. Ain't nothing. That's what people got to think. Ain't nothing. Everything can drop. Everything, anything can die. Not nothing walk in this world immortal. Hit him with a couple of them shots. You see he fell down, trying to act all scary. You see he fell down, though. That's all I be saying. Hit him with them bullets. I bet he gonna fall. That's what he did. Fail.
Miles.
All that scary junk don't mean nothing, boy.
Back to the cars in under an hour. We climbed in.
He probably killed the nigga. He don't even know. He probably killed him. He probably got a body on his belt. He don't even know it. Left the nigga out there in the wood. Ah, man, I said the N-word. Ah, shoot. Nah, man, I was on the street, man. I was on the street, man. Forgive me, Lord, for saying the N-word. In the name of Jesus, I want to repent for saying the N-word in the name of Jesus. I told y'all, bro. Y'all didn't hear me say the N-word in a long time. Like I said, I know it's not a curse word, bro, but I just feel like, feel convicted when I say it. So, I know I don't say the N-word anymore, bro. I am not an N-word. I am a man. You know what I mean? So, yeah, man, God took that out of my vocabulary, man. The N-word, y'all don't hear me saying the Jack A word no more, you feel me? Certain things I feel like I shouldn't say as a Christian, you know what I'm saying?
And decided to sleep in the car for the night. We covered the windows and tried to get some rest. When we woke up in the morning, we left immediately and stopped for breakfast at a diner in a small town. We never called the cops, and I'm still conflicted about whether we should have. This happened years ago, and no reports about it ever came out.
Bro probably murdered.
So for all I know, those psychopaths are still out there.
Heck yeah, though, man. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, y'all, never go hiking. Never, ever go hiking, bro. Not that serious. Stay in the land. If you want to go hike, you better hike in the open. You know what I mean? Going out there, it's a no-go. But make sure you hit the subscribe button, turn the bell, like a video. Tell me how you feel about this in the comments down below. It's your boy Jay. Take it easy. Before you do, like BZ, boy Jay out, man. Gang.